Good morning, San Francisco. I am Mark Carey III with KSFS Media, and today I have brought me a special guest with me, Julian Simington. Julian is a tournament organizer for fighting video games, and he basically does a lot of Smash Brothers Melee. He ran the ITT Is That Tournament series, Game Center's monthly tournaments, as well as assisting with other well-known competitions like Landhammer and Genesis 2. I want to thank you, Julian, for coming on our show today.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. Basically, I want to know what made you decide to make the transition from being a competitive gamer to a tournament organizer?
Okay. Well, I started out as a competitive player. I went to a lot of tournaments here, San Francisco, Concord, throughout the Bay Area. But the tournaments were starting to fall off. There weren't as many as there had been, and there was a dearth. And so I decided that I could try to fill that gap and do my part to keep the scene alive.
Yeah. Speaking of how it's dying out, I mean, the game's been out like 12 years, since 2001.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep people interested in wanting to play in tournaments still?
The community has kind of propped itself up through a strong grassroots effort, pretty much. Throughout the country, different regions in the country and throughout the world, people run tournaments locally, regionally, internationally. There are tournaments that have people from all over the world that attend them. And so just a love for the game. People have kept at the game, they love the game, and they're always willing to come together and play it.
Oh, that sounds fantastic, man. Everyone's still playing it.
Yeah.
So when you're preparing to make a tournament happen, what kind of preparations do you go through to make them?
When I'm setting up a tournament, one of the first things you have to do is secure a venue. That depends on what kind of venue we need, depends on how many people we expect. But we just have to canvass some areas, make some calls, visit some places, see if they have enough space, if they have the infrastructure that we need in terms of like electronics and things like that, because we have lots of TVs and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine with all the TVs. With the tournament, with the venues, are they always supportive of you, or are they just like, no, I don't want this here?
It just depends. Usually it's easiest to get cooperation from gaming type places. So the ITTs were at a Magic store, and that kind of fit with what they were doing. Some other places, they're just not interested. So you just kind of have to take it as you go.
Okay. Is there any like trials and tribulations you have to go to while running the tournament?
Yeah, trying to make sure that a tournament runs efficiently and on schedule can be difficult. Just making sure players play their matches on time, that players don't disappear. That can be a trial sometimes because people, they want to play the game and not necessarily like play in the tournament, and so there are conflicting incentives sometimes.
So when you're doing a tournament, what kind of impact do you think it has on the fighting game community or any kind of video game community for that matter?
I think the tournaments really like elevate the gameplay. People get to see other very good people play. They want to emulate them. They want to be like that. It's like when people watch sports, right? They watch good players play. They want to do the same thing. And so it allows the game to evolve and keeps people interested in it.
Okay. For the developers, I mean, for Smash Brothers, you got Nintendo backing you up, or not backing you up, but Nintendo's the one who made the game. Do they fully support the tournament scene?
Nintendo doesn't really support the scene, I'd say. They kind of just let us exist and don't interfere. Although I guess you may have heard that at EVO they didn't want to let us stream our matches, but eventually they capitulated after a lot of backlash. But I would say they just kind of let us do our thing and they don't really interfere. But I wouldn't say that they assist us much.
Okay. With the EVO thing, I know Smash Brothers, they had 700 players there. It was the most watched tournament at EVO. Do you think Nintendo's going to be more supportive after 2014?
I'm not sure. I can only hope so. I can only hope so. It's hard to say. They have their own. There's a new Smash game coming out. Right? They have a lot of other games that they want to market. I don't know how much interest they have in keeping an old game alive, but I'll cross my fingers.
Okay. So with Smash Brothers 4 coming out, I mean, there was a third one that came out after Melee,
Brawl,
and it's called Brawl.
Yeah.
And the community was shifted then. How do you feel about that?
When the new game comes out, people will play it and people will give it a fair shot. And if they like it, I think no one will have problems switching games, right? People played Smash 64 before they played Melee, but because it was a good game, everyone wanted to play it. So if Smash 4 is good, people will play it. If not, Melee will probably keep on trucking.
And you going to keep hosting these tournaments?
Yeah, I'll continue to host tournaments.
Do you have anyone in the future coming up?
I'm not hosting any in particular, but there are going to be some. Actually, there aren't really any big tournaments on the horizon here in the near term, but there's going to be a big tournament in SoCal in December, and then an international tournament in the East Coast in New Jersey
That sounds
January.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on our show today, Julian. And I am Mark Carrick III with KSFS Media. Thank you.